You're mad I'm rich. You're mad I'm pretty. You're mad your nigga wanna fuck me. You're mad.
Guys, it's Loren Westwood. Today's video was not really one that I was planning on making. I knew that eventually the situation was going to be handled. It just was never handled correctly. And so I am now taking steps. This company has taken way more out of me than it can ever give. I've sat through countless attempts to falsely put things on my name, false claims of sexual harassment, blatant transphobia where people were just tapped on the wrist and sent about their day, blatant disrespect, and immoral practice in the workplace. I've always been wanting to take accountability for my actions. I am not going to say I'm a perfect person because that would be a false statement. Nobody's perfect but God, and none of us are God. It's just the fact that people have become complicit to the idea that they can be wrong. And they're not very cognizant of the fact that facts are facts. Actions are actions. Words are words. What you do in the dark comes to the light. I'm not here to force anybody's karma. I don't want to put karma on people. I don't want bad for anybody. I just want my part to be said as a Black trans woman, for it to be heard, understood, for people to resonate with it, for people to understand that there's people out there fighting for them, and that if anybody comes behind me to happen to fit my structure, my stature, my demographic, that they won't be discriminated against, that they won't be destroyed mentally, that they won't feel unimportant, that they will feel as though they belong, and that they can feel comfortable that where they're working is doing right by them as you're trying to do right by them. We are supposed to be a team. You're supposed to work together through anything, whether it's good, bad, ugly, pretty, hectic days, lazy days, slow days. We're supposed to work together. We're supposed to be able to stand side by side and hold each other up. After a while, I did not have that feeling. So much has been said about me. So many comments that when I heard who it came from and when I seen where it came from, I was floored to find out that people think I'm iffy because I don't want to relate too much information about myself, that I'm too mysterious, that I need to be looked out for, even though I'm not coming after anybody. I'm just existing and living. Anytime that there's been a situation, it has always been this way, this way, this way. I just kept absorbing it, taking it in. I was quiet. I wasn't trying to replace that energy back out there because I just don't live my life like that. I don't live my life where I argue with people every day. I don't live my life where every single time I look over my shoulder, it's a hater or somebody who wants to see me fail. I don't live my life where I hate on other people because they're succeeding when I could be right next to them succeeding as well, just in my own lane. People have become complicit. People have become uncompassionate. I don't think that's the word. People have become reverent in the idea that only their way is the way, and that only their way is the correct way, and that no matter what they do, they will never be wrong because their way is the way. I want to make it very clear, and this is going from the top to the bottom. Loren Westwood was built by me. I made sure that I did everything I needed to do to put myself out there, come open arms to people so that they would come open arms to me. I came in with an open heart, an open mind, a great work ethic, and fantastic poise, grace, and morals. I've worked for this company for 2.5 years at this point, and I've seen so many come and go. And I've seen so many situations where People use their power to get other people out of the way or make people feel like they don't belong so that they would be removed and taken out of the picture. It's been situation after situation where people have tried to take their turn at trying to remove Loren or make Loren uncomfortable, displace Loren's feelings, make her not feel like she's a person, overly invest myself into Loren, invest the wrong time into Loren, make up my own narration of what I think Loren is or who I think Loren is without even knowing who Loren is. You've become so acquainted with the idea of who you think a person is to the point where you have made up in your mind that that's who I am. Even though I've shown on countless times, I'm not a nasty person. I don't have an evil heart. I don't have a cold heart. Some would say I'm too understanding and I'm too nurturing to other people's emotions. It's just a part of who I am. There's been a situation where, because of somebody's cultural background, they were openly transphobic towards me. And it came to the point where we had to get pulled into a conversation with the HR at the time because, the HR is revolving in and out just as much as the agents are. I mean, it speaks for itself. The HR lady that we had at the time had a conversation with both of us, and he was blatantly and openly transphobic towards me, referring to me as he, in which she shut it down. I him understand that he is in America. He works in America. He may have a ethnic background in which their culture may not appreciate who I am. I respect it. I'm not going to tell you to like my lifestyle, nor am I going to tell you to like who I am. All I ask is for respect, and you couldn't even give me that. We agreed to disagree, in which after that conversation, they did not see any consequence. They did not see any suspension. They didn't see any type of consequence other than a slap on the wrist. Just the next situation in which somebody had an issue with me because they did not like me, another person of a cultural background, in which they wanted to place harm on me. They referred to me in so many immoral and defamatory ways. I don't even have to be in their presence, and they were speaking ill of me. It took somebody telling me on my day off, calling me, telling me this person is doing this person is walking around saying this about you, saying a whole bunch of nasty things about me, filing false sexual harassment on me. And at this point, I had said a couple times and I made a couple statements as to, is there any way we can resolve it? I even tried coming to the person, seeing if there was a way that we could resolve it. They didn't want that. They wanted a problem. And I gave them what they were looking for. After being punched in the head over and over again with people's words, you're eventually going to get tired of being beat down and you're going to defend yourself and you're going to say something in accordance to defending yourself. But with coming into defending yourself, it makes you look as if you're an aggressor because a lot of the times when you react and respond to all the disrespect, it's coming from a place of, I don't understand. Where did this come from? And when management is looking at the situation, and I've said on multiple occasions, before I handle it, can y'all try to handle it? And it don't get handled. So I have to take things in my own hands. I didn't mind looking crazy because when I tried to be ethical and respectful and handle it in a more professional manner, it was not being seen or made of any sense of urgency. When I had conversations about it, it was always, Loren, just ignore it. Just don't even worry about it. Just ignore it. So ignore somebody wanting to place harm on me. Ignore that. You ignore that. You want me to ignore that. And then after this person is saying all these things, I have to email a statement for my protection in case anything is to happen to me, because I don't know where these people's mental state are. I don't know where these feelings are coming from. I can't pinpoint and say what I did to this person because I have not done anything to this person. So eventually it got handled, but it didn't get handled until it was kind of like unignorable. Y'all got people at the job, starting the job, and y'all telling them to watch out for the trans girl downstairs. As if I play a role in them being able to do their job or not. Where I'm being called iffy because I just won't let y'all know too much about me. I've been so respectful of everybody's feelings that it came to the point where I stopped respecting my own feelings. I was just taking it. I was just letting everything happen. I wasn't defending myself. I was just pushing myself into a corner and staying in my bubble and hoping for the best. Hoping for the best. I was staying in my bubble and hoping for the best. I knew after these first two situations weren't handled, these people really don't care about me. But I'm never going to ever let anybody feel like they can get me to want to leave because of other people. If I'm going to leave, it's because I got a better opportunity. It's because I know this is, my journey here is ended. Nobody's ever going to make me feel as though they played a role in, oh, we got Loren to leave. We got her to clock out and never come back. You'll never have that. I'm strong. I went from being not glorified, but being favored and recognized because of my work ethic and because of my moral compass and because of who I am as a person. Overnight, that all changed. I became public enemy number one, and I felt like I was under a microscope. Every single thing that I did was just taken to the most extreme level, as if everything I did was just so full of blasphemy. Oh my God, Lauren's employee left a piece of trash in the seat back pocket. Lauren, you don't care about your work. You don't care about that. Lauren does care. I do care. When I'm doing my job, I'm doing my job. I do care about the quality of my work. However, mistakes happen. And when you're a supervisor, me, and you work the time of day where you're understaffed, where sometimes I don't have POAs to actually run the flights, so I have to run the flights. Mistakes might happen. Because if I work 2 turns and 6 runs myself, back to back to back to back to back, never really having a chance to stop, I may check, but a mistake might come out of that. It's been so many situations in which I've been sabotaged, where people have been told one thing and then they do another, or they tell me one thing and they decide to do another. Once again, I'm never going to say that I'm perfect, nor that I don't make mistakes. I always have held myself accountable for anything that I do. I just can't be the only one that's accountable for my actions, and y'all still have not fixed actions, nor did you care to fix actions or take action until y'all felt like it. The next situation that I want to speak on, those 2 situations are old. I'm past them. I'm cool. I'm not feeling no type of way about it. They play a role in why I'm handling things the way I'm handling them now. I don't have an issue with those people. I just have an issue with the situations, how they were handled. The next situation I want to talk about was in May of 2024, the beginning of May. I want to say maybe the 4th or the 5th. I came into a really hectic shift. Everybody was everywhere. I don't really know what's going on. I'm trying to get intel on what's going on. Nobody will really speak to me or tell me anything. So I try to go into the office where I will find out information. There's 3 people in there. It's called operations. So y'all should be able to know what's going on with the operations because y'all are operations. So 1, 2, and 3 are sitting right there. I'm asking for somebody just answer my questions as to what's going on. Nobody's responsive. 1 lady, 2 lady, 1 man, and a manager sitting in the office right there. So after I'm being ignored, I'm like, okay, cool. The manager comes out. I'm still trying to ask questions. She goes and tells me, do not ask me questions, just do it. But the notion before the situation happened and what she's always said was, if you don't know, ask. And that's exactly what I did. I'm walking into a hectic shift. I don't know what's going on. I just want to be made aware so that I can know how to best do my job and so I can best help and provide my services to the team. She tried to do a power trip and tried to tell me, give me your badge. In which I said no, because I did not feel like I did anything wrong. And everything I said was valid. I didn't talk bad about her. I was trying to get to the premise of the situation, which was, I don't know what I'm doing. Nobody's telling me nothing. I don't know what's going on. And so when I come into a room full of people that should know what's going on and can't nobody tell me what's going on, I'm going to look a little bit weird. And then when your attitude is as if I should just know and I don't, strange, spooky. She just said, well, just go home for the day. We'll talk about it the next day. Um, I was okay with that. I didn't think that it was a big deal. I didn't have a big problem with it. I didn't want to go home because I did not think that I did anything wrong. I still, to this day, don't really feel like I did anything wrong. I've taken accountable for the things that were found out for me to have done wrong. I feel as though, even though what I felt I was justified for, it might be a mistake that I still made, and I can take accountability for that. Does not mean it was not justified. Before I left, I typed up my statement and sent it off to HR and my manager just in hopes that we could talk about it, move past it, and go back to working together because it was never really that deep. This person had never done anything to me privy. I know about a couple of things that are said about me and a couple little group chats and a lot of favoritism that was happening, but I just left it at that and I moved along. I never had a personal issue, so I never acted on an issue. I typed in my statement. Whole premise is come to a resolution. I'm big on talking things out and problem solving, and I'm quick with coming with solutions and problem solving issues. So I really didn't think that it was going to be a big deal, nor that it was going to be hard for us to talk about it because I'm not an aggressive person. I'm not a nasty person. I don't wish bad on people, and I don't want them to wish bad on me. It was just a bad day for everybody. Everybody was just everywhere.
The roaches. When the lights come out. They scrambling. The roaches, child. We roaches.
I just so happened to walk into it and I got a lot of the frustration placed on me that I did not feel like I deserved, nor did I deserve. After I sent my statement off, though, manager forced me that they actually boosted my statement to the regional HR on the East Coast. I was kind of confused because I didn't think it needed that, but however, they sent it. I did not feel like it needed to go that far. However, they sent it. Cool. I'm still on the wave of we're just going to talk about it tomorrow and move along. Tomorrow comes, I walk into work. I guess she had emailed me earlier in that day. If I'm off the clock, I'm not doing work off the clock. I'm hourly. I'm not going to be doing a whole bunch of work at home and checking everything going on from my house if I'm not being paid to do so. When I'm on the clock to do my job, I'm going to do my job. So I did not see the email. I'm sitting there about to clock in. She's actually waiting for me. And she tells me, you can't clock in, you actually need to go home. There was other agents in there listening to her tell me this information, in which she said, you have to go home pending investigation. I'm not gonna lie, I'm trying to figure out in my head, investigation on me, and I'm the one that brought my concern. Something's not adding up. To use an analogy, imagine you seeing somebody getting murdered. You're watching somebody getting murdered, and you call the cops, and you telling them, I'm watching somebody getting murdered. I'm seeing him kill somebody. And they pull up, they're not asking you no questions. They're not trying to get your statement on what happened. They just take you and lock your ass up. I'm sorry. They pull up, they don't ask you no questions. They take you in handcuffs, clink, 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 put you in the back of the car, and you were just a witness. You were the one that brought the problem to them so they can handle it. And I was thrown in lockup. It was a lot of touch and go. I wasn't really able to speak to HR that much, being as though they weren't really that responsive. I've reached out multiple times, in which she informed me, yes, you are under investigation. I asked about my money, as far as my financials, and maybe a time length of how long I was going to be suspended. I wasn't given that, but I was, however, told in the event that you are brought back, you will be compensated for any time that you have lost. I was gone about 80% of that month. So that should tell you. To this day in January 2025, I have not gotten. So weeks go by, and I've reached out multiple times to HR, no response. They finally call me at the end of the month and tell me to come in which I'm like, okay, I don't have a problem with that. I'll come in and meet. The meeting was just handing me a write up and saying, in the detail of my write up, it said that it was because I did not give her my badge when she asked for it. I did not feel like she needed it or that it was justified. If she really felt like it, they could have just turned my badge off, like they would do it to anybody else. But for some reason, I needed to hand my badge into her. For what? Unsure. I signed my write up. I'm not going to keep arguing back and forth about it. I'm past the situation. I just have my job. I was brought back because clearly I didn't do enough to where I was wrong, in which I would be gone. Because if I did something wrong, I would be gone. I would not be here. Y'all would not even have suspended me. You would have just fired me. Maybe a couple days of suspension, then fire me. Not weeks of suspension and then bring me back. After being brought back, I just went back to working. It was kind of shaky grounds between me and the manager that I got into it with, and we just tried to stay professional as possible. I have reached out multiple times in which to see when I was going to get paid. Nobody has an answer. Okay, so October 7th comes of 2024, in which I was texted by the HR assistant at the time, in which he asked me, can you meet me in my office upstairs at 5 p.m.? I'm always early to work. I was supposed to be there at 5 anyway, so I said, hello, yes, I can. That was about 3 minutes after he messaged me at 3:56 p.m., and I responded at 3:59 p.m. saying I will be there. I was already about to leave to come to work, so it was no big deal. I knew I was going to meet him upstairs, but I didn't know what we were going to meet about. I did not get a overview of why I was being asked to come into a meeting. When I did come to work, however, they weren't in the meeting, and I actually walked into a meeting with the HR generalist, my manager, and the regional HR from the East, who has just replaced the lady who was originally over the East, who originally handled my situation. Coincidentally, that lady was sent to the West, and he took over the East. I walked into a meeting blindsided about the situation and like kind of a follow up after me requesting it for so many times. I explained the situation. I explained that I don't have any ill will towards the person I got into it with. I just do my job, she does her job, and we leave. It was never anything about that. I was saying it was never the situation that I was really still stuck on. It's the fact that the situation is still not finished because y'all have not handled what you need to handle. You have not done what you say you're going to do. I was told I was going to get paid for the time that I lost. I lost a couple weeks too. So I've lost weeks of pay, and I was told without condition that if I was brought back, I would get paid for the time I lost, and I still have not seen it. They told me my perception of what I think happened is not actually what happened. But if what happened is not my perception of what happened, then why didn't y'all fire me? Because if I was wrong, y'all would have fired me. But I was right, so you brought me back. Spooky. When that situation happened and they, without saying it, called me delusional, they handed me a pamphlet for counseling and sent me on my way. I broke down in tears because it's really hard at this point because nobody's showing no compassion. Nobody's trying to hear me out. Nobody is really trying to understand me. And it becomes frustrating when you feel as though all you have to do is do right by your employees and you just don't want to do it. And I come in here every day and I bust my ass to produce results when everything is always lined up to have me fail. Imagine working understaffed every single day. Imagine having to work flights, then go clean flights, and then go do everything for 8 hours straight, not stopping, not once. And there's not anybody there that you can ask to help you. So you suck it up and make that shit happen. After that conversation, I knew I was going to have to handle things the more legal route because they weren't going to take what I'm saying serious. They weren't going to care about how I felt about anything. They weren't going to follow through on what they were saying they were going to do themselves. I didn't tell them to tell me that. They told me that. My money is my money. My financials are my financials. I don't care about people's feelings towards me. But my money, I need to have that. I'm a single black trans woman in America. I have bills to pay. Bills don't stop from a suspension. They still come. Stuff can get past due. Stuff can affect my livelihood because of the situation. So, to think I brought this with a sense of resolve and it got blown out to proportion, and to this day it's still a situation, is crazy to me. So after that, I just laid low for a while. I just went back to doing my job. I just stayed out the way. I knew I couldn't trust who I worked with other than the people I was cool with and who have never, traded up on me. I just knew I had to lay low. I had to stay out the way. I just don't want to be in nothing. I don't want to be sent to do something. I just don't want to be a part of it. So I stopped approving overtime. I stopped doing everything. I just laid low. I just did my job and I left. Didn't give any extra because I didn't have any extra left in me. I'm still giving 120% to a company that doesn't even want to give me their 50%. I gave my half. You won't even finish your half. Regardless of how people feel, I am a beautiful black trans woman. I am a black woman. I am a woman. Aside from all of the other subjective stuff, a black woman is still a woman. A woman of color is still a woman of color. A white woman is still a white woman. A trans woman is still a trans woman. I just so happen to be a black trans woman. So when I defend myself, it's going to look at as though aggressive man. And I don't think people understand that. I come in so petite, poised, and graced, but as soon as I defend myself, a black woman is seen as aggressive when they defend themselves. Trans, She's hormonal. She's just losing it. And then she's a woman until she defend herself. Then we gonna see her as a man. So after laying low for a little while, a situation happened on November 17th, in which I almost lost my life at work. And I almost lost my life at work. I turn around and see a running engine coming at me and a plane rolling, and I'm not seeing my escape. There's a person on the pushback, which pushes the plane out, who was able to move the pushback out of the way in order for me to run away. Otherwise, I would not be here. I didn't try to save myself at first because I had accepted my fate. I was thinking, you've given so much to this world that's been so positive and full of life and full of love, and it tries to shit on you in so many ways. Your health is deteriorating. You're just not where you are needing to be mentally. So I accepted. I accepted dying. I suffered PTSD after the situation, and I still have PTSD. I would come to work after, I tried to come to work after that. And I even told my manager that I'm here, but I'm not here. Like I'm working, but I'm dissociating from my work. That situation happened on November 17th or 18th of 2024. And sitting at home after the situation happened, and there was no immediate call to check on me. There was nobody there to support me or see if I was okay. It was a time in which I felt helpless. And for somebody to wait 48 hours until around 7:40 on November 19th to reach out to me, and for me not to feel like it was genuine, it felt like they just did it just to make themselves look good. Just bothered me in so many ways. I responded right away when they reached out to me because I honestly had thought we put our differences to the side. But I responded and they didn't respond. They didn't ask me if I was okay. They didn't see if I needed anything. They, on November 20th, I'm going to correct myself. I got a text at 7:40 saying, "Hey Loren, received your call out." Because that day I was saying I was suffering from PTSD and I could not do it. I was not going to be able to do it. "We received your call out. I wanted to check on you." Understanding that yesterday was crazy and ultimately nerve-wracking, you did not receive points for today. I said, hey, I appreciate you reaching out. I just woke up from finally being able to go to sleep. I was shaken and I appreciate the understanding. Agents running up to me crying and myself being in tears a lot last night because of the situation. It was traumatic. I just needed time to get myself together. Thanks. No response. I did not feel like they reached out because they genuinely wanted to check on me. I feel like they reached out because it would make them look good. Cut to now, I am no longer an employee for this company. I am going to fight this with hoping that it will help people who come in with my demographic to feel comfortable, be made comfortable, and for the right thing to be done by employees who are giving their all every day. Before I end this video, I want to make one thing clear. I am Loren Westwood. I am a beautiful, educated, Black trans woman. It's not going to be one day in this world in which anybody can come and try to get me out or bully me out, to make me uncomfortable, to make me feel less than, to ever feel like my work is not appreciated, or that I am not deserving of success, love, and light. I put in the work. It speaks for itself. I keep elevating because you cannot destroy what you did not invest in. If you do not want to subscribe to me as a person, that is okay. But that is within yourself for you not to like me. There's no reason for you not to like me. And that goes for everybody from the top to the bottom. If you're insecure with the fact that I'm self-aware and secure in who I am, you need to get checked. I love me. I will continue to love me. I will continue to shine. I will continue to be a ray of positivity, even in times of negativity. I will give love to those who don't want to love me. And I will accept differences and understand that not everybody is going to like me. Not everybody's going to love me. Not everybody's going to appreciate me for who I am, but you do not have to make up your own idea of who I am. Take me for what I am by getting to know who I am. I put in the work. Can't nobody take that away from me. I don't have to sit in a room full of people to make me who I am. I don't need to have yes men to make me feel like I'm complete. Nobody has to manufacture my sound, my look, my hair, my dresses, my anything, my physique, my mental. Nobody influences nothing other than me to influence myself and love myself. I put in the work. Good night.